You might know someone who's middle class rich, so they make a comfortable living and work hard, but even though they could easily buy whatever they want in reason, they don't. So they aren't necessarily driving expensive cars, shopping a lot, wearing head-to-toe designer logos, and they're definitely not posting every expensive buy on social media. Instead, they live modestly and they don't seem to care a whole lot about stuff. And if you've ever wondered what really sets them apart, in most cases, it's their habits and mindset. But before jumping in, this video is sponsored by National University and we'll talk more about them in a moment. They're more focused on staying grounded while enjoying some degree of financial freedom because in most cases, they've already been there and done that. Even when some people know that their income and their savings isn't where they want it to be or where it needs to be, they keep spending. And sometimes there is a tendency to spend more than they can actually afford on things that they don't even need. It could be designer bags, shoes, lots of clothes, or an expensive car. Whatever it is, they might buy these things to fill a gap, thinking that it will boost their happiness or make them feel more accomplished. But oftentimes, this thinking backfires, and it doesn't fill a gap, it just creates more hardship. But for people who have it and don't flash it, even though they're in a position to have all of those things and they can comfortably afford it, they've come to realize something very important. It doesn't really matter. I've heard people mention how when they didn't have money, they wanted everything. So they would spend all of their disposable income and even some bill money to look like $1 million. They had huge car payments they couldn't really afford and maxed out credit cards, yet nothing in savings, which really prevented them from having any type of real stability. But at the time, they didn't care because it was all about appearances. But once it got to a point where they could afford those things, they were less interested in them. The rush of always owning something new started to fade, and their focus shifted to freedom and experiences. In the end, some of them learned that buying things to feel better is a cycle that leads nowhere. People with money who don't feel the need to flash it also know that while growing your bank account is great, growing yourself is even better. So for some of these people, instead of spending so much buying things that they really don't need, they put a lot of their energy into learning and improving themselves. Whether it's through online courses, reading, or attending workshops, they know that investing in their knowledge pays off. And it's not just about learning for the sake of it. It's about gaining skills and knowledge that will actually help them stay ahead of the curve, tackle challenges, and even keep up with inflation. And if you're looking to get ahead and feel more financially secured, I'm excited to be partnering with National University to talk about education and how you can set yourself up for success. For many, the challenge isn't a lack of ambition, but rather finding the time to focus on their own growth. However, learning has become easier, especially when you can do it online and at your own pace. And National University is a great example of this. It's an accredited nonprofit university offering over 190 flexible online degree programs, certifications, and professional development courses designed for people juggling multiple responsibilities. With 4 and 8-week online courses that start monthly, you can pursue your education without putting your life on hold. Whether you're looking to switch careers, grow in your current role, or learn skills to launch your own business, these programs are built for working adults. And because you're able to complete courses one at a time, you can focus on steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. So if you're ready to invest in yourself, check out the link in my description to learn more about National University and to explore scholarship opportunities. In addition, when it comes to people who have money but don't flaunt it, another thing that sets them apart is that they don't care what other people think. If you call them cheap for using a coupon at a nice restaurant, they don't care. Or some people might think they're weird for carrying around a 5-year-old phone, but at the end of the day, they just don't care. They have their priorities in order, so they're not spending their hard-earned money just to impress others. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard someone say, "I'm not going to buy this or that because it's not important to me," and others have straight up said to them, "Stop acting broke." Like seriously, that is one thought process that I will never understand. Like, how can you take someone being responsible and intentional with their money and completely flip it around to something negative? A few weeks ago, I saw this TikTok of this guy explaining how he spends his $100,000 salary. And he was driving, I believe, a Nissan Altima, living below his means, making good financial choices. And someone commented, "You make 6 figures, yet you're driving that." And this is just a recent example, but it drives home the point because there are actually people who act as if it's a crime if a person's lifestyle doesn't quite match up to their salary. But it all goes back to what I said earlier. People who are and want to remain financially stable do not care about the opinions of others. And finally, some of these people choose to be more frugal than they have to be because they want to retire as early as possible. For many financially stable people, the ultimate goal is not to accumulate wealth. It's also to retire early and enjoy the freedom that comes with that. And early retirement isn't only about sitting on the beach all day, even though it could be part of it. It's also about creating a life where work is optional and they have the time and flexibility to pursue what truly matters to them. If you've ever gone down the rabbit hole of YouTube videos on how to retire comfortably, one theme that will always stand out is frugality, which really goes to show that living below your means isn't just a strategy to save money today. It's a mindset shift that prioritizes freedom over fleeting luxuries. And if you don't believe me, just watch some of those videos. A lot of creators share detailed stories on how they've been able to cut back on expenses and shift their focus to investing, all in the name of achieving early retirement. And one creator who has supported me for years is Dr. Fire Ninja. He offers content on the FIRE movement and breaks it down in a way that's actionable and relatable. So if you're interested in that approach, I encourage you to check out his channel. The bottom line is, whether you're reducing housing costs, maximizing your investments, or making other strategic financial decisions, smart money moves can lead to big results. But that's not going to happen if you're thinking short term and keeping the future in the background, because every decision you make today will either put you closer or farther away from where you want to be.